Cloud9 are just one win away from moving on to the next week's semifinals matchup after a dominating victory here in Game 3. Can they do it? Will it happen? It seems like the momentum from that game, from Game 2, is enough to carry them here in this series.
Yeah, absolutely. The bottom lane, oh my God. The double kill early on, Sneaky and Smoothie coming up big. It was an absolutely devastating gold lead right off the bat, which transitioned into items that just pushed them completely out of the lane.
Yeah, and the progression of this series has been entirely in C9's favor. In Game 1, even though Envy won it in the late game, C9 had that early game advantage, and then the early game advantage has just been getting bigger and bigger in every successive game. 25 CS differential at 10 minutes, 2,250 gold for Sneaky at 10 minutes. Like, that's actually insane. You do not see those numbers almost ever.
And it's almost being exacerbated by the fact that it seems like Envy's not changing anything when they are down. We saw those kills come in, and Lod came back to lane with the call, which meant he still wasn't doing anything more, and Cloud9 takes even more of an advantage.
And the lane was pushing away from him, and then Video showed up, and then he got killed another time. So the bottom lane got killed.
It seems like they're almost set in their ways from what they practiced in the early game to have to go that way here, and against Cloud9, it's got to be able to be mixed up.
Yeah, and you talked about mixing it up. Envy selected blue side.
Right.
And they still end up banning the same things that they banned last game, Shen, Talia, and Syndra.
But what it does do is it opens up their ability to first pick the Karma. It's something that they were playing mid lane before a lot of people were. Most people are playing at support. But now when you see Karma picked, it's most likely locked in the mid lane. And it's also one of the few things in Ninja's champion pool that can kind of deal with Jensen, because you can play the lane with a lot of shields and decent wave clear. But it also gives a lot back over to C9. They're still going to be able to get probably Ashe and either Gragas or Rek'Sai. They get their pick.
Yeah, it's also interesting as well because they ban their own Tahm Kench, which then means that you get to play the Ashe, unless they first pick Ashe.
Yeah, there's that synergy.
So now it's kind of between Ashe and Karma as the two priority picks here that they're trading back. You get one, we get the other, and the Sneaky Ashe has actually been fantastic, and it wasn't that great in Lod's hands. Killed in the lane. A little bit was that due to the just engage of the support, thought they had level 2 advantage, but then the arrows from then on out, the utility was just not coming through for him. Whereas in Game 2, Sneaky had great arrows.
Yeah, and Envy's also just kind of throwing caution to the wind a little bit here, giving Proxen Lee Sin a champion he loves to play. But with Rek'Sai on the board, highly abnormal in the current drafting scene. It's because Proxen is feeling like he has to go off in this game.
Balls to the wall.
Yep.
Has to be for this game.
These guys aren't going to carry. Get these scrubs out of my team. Let's go.
I'm going to have to do it.
It's a hero mindset in a small sense, but the team obviously has buy-in. The coach has to as well agree for him to do that. But it does kind of speak to what Envy could be thinking. We were wondering whether they're going to be able to recover from the progressively worse and worse early games. Lee Sin has the potential to have an amazing early game.
Yeah, definitely lopsides their power. It's a little bit better in the early game. The later parts of the game, they're sacrificing some power there. I'm interested to see what they pick for their solo lanes here because they've saved them for last. They haven't typically done that. They've been priority picking the top laner for Seraph in the second round usually, and Gnar has been the go-to here.
I don't see why it wouldn't be the Gnar as well as maybe the Thresh or the Bard, something that hasn't been looked at this game. But with the Ashe, having that Thresh is going to be so good for the hooks. Having more for Meteos on that Gragas combines as well.
Yeah, you also have a really good way to stop the Lee Sin. If you're good enough, you can actually stop him with the Flay.
They need a tank. Envy needs a tank here. They still have Hawkwood that can go onto the Braum. But what else do they throw into this composition?
Yeah, do they go tankless? Do they throw the Karma down in the support? Most likely not. You would expect a tank support like a Braum would be the most logical thing, and then it's really difficult that they have to lock in another one of their solo lanes here. At least they've been able to switch up the ban phase to create some new options for themselves, whereas you look at C9, they're doing the same stuff.
The tier list is pretty much like Lemon's notebook lives on. It's still here. It's still on stage. It's still got those tier lists in them.
Let Seraph carry in that top lane. Give him something he can strike with.
Yeah.
What will it be? It probably will be that Lissandra.
Oh, baby.
It will be the lock-in. It is the Pantheon. Gets locked in, which will be going to the top lane.
To the bitter end.
All right, yeah.
They're going to pick champions that other people don't pick.
Oh, you don't get a lot of experience versus this. I'm really interested. Is this a pick for Seraph? Is it for Ninja? I've seen it in both lanes.
It's a pick for the people.
It's a pick for the people.
It's a pick for the people.
It's a pick to actually try and kill Sneaky a lot and affect the side lanes. Because Ninja, if it is for Ninja in the mid lane is what I would assume, but we can see it in the top side.
I think they can bounce it back and forth. The Lissandra and Pantheon, you know, I don't know if either one of them are great against Gnar, but I think Pantheon would actually be pretty good against Gnar early. Maybe more likely to see a top.
You know,
we have no idea until
yeah.
we see Jensen's mid lane pick.
When you have a goal, you pick something that can just hit that goal. The Kennen couldn't get to the back line, so a Pantheon can. Unconditionally. Nothing else needs to happen. He just needs to jump into the sky, grand skyfall, and man drop down. Ooh. It is going to be the LeBlanc picked up for Jensen here in the mid lane, so he's bringing power to the table as well. Another switch up of compositions from both sides with Cloud9 remaining almost intact to what they've been using.
Yeah, exactly the same as compositions kind of pieced together that they'd had before. Exactly the same as Game 2 that they ended up winning, except instead of Syndra, they have a different pick type champion here.
Still a huge AP burst nuke threat.
Yeah,
right?
Try to LeBlanc people.
I mean, with Ignite, you're almost sure to see this Pantheon in the mid lane. Lissandra would generally need to take teleport.
Love it.
Just for late game team fighting. This is going to be fun.
I think this is great because Ninja affecting the side lanes. It's always been, hey, come gank Jensen. Now instead, avoid that. Make sure you can get to the side lanes. Camp Jensen early, try to get a lane advantage for Ninja, and then spill that over and try to kill Sneaky or Impact.
Seems like Envy are playing with a nothing to lose, but definitely know in the back of their mind they want to win. Coming into this split, we heard how much it means to Lod, to the rest of the team, that Seraph also thinks this is a different type of game as they enter into quarterfinals. It can be one that they can win. As the underdogs here, Envy will try their hand here with Cloud9 on game point of our first quarterfinal matchup. We're about to be onto the Rift. Head over to Twitter, hashtag EnVyWin or hashtag Cloud9Win. See who will move on in the playoffs. We're about to be on to the Rift. Cheer for the team you want to win. We are about to see if that becomes Cloud9 who moves on.
Yeah, we also speak about Envy having a fairly heavy influence from the LCK. It's a minor thing, but the last Pantheon was actually played about a week ago by Kuro in the LCK. It was victorious against a Twisted Fate.
Yeah.
But LeBlanc is a little bit stronger of a laner than that. I'm still excited.
These guys are Korea influence.
That's true. It's definitely a counter pick to a Twisted Fate. You can block the gold card just by having your Aegis, so you guarantee that you have some way to block it. But Ninja, not having the same luxury, and the stun won't stop to the distortion. It'll still go through and deal that damage as she travels. But you still do a lot of damage. Pantheons can kill her while she has the clone popping a lot of the times. You'll see LeBlanc says like, oh, he killed both of them. Doesn't matter.
Right.
Heartseeker Strike finds the true heart eventually.
It's going to be very interesting. Hakuo on a more of aggressive support this time, so he can have some fun and not just try to shield. He can peel from a distance. So a little bit of the dynamic changed here for Envy as we start off this game. Obviously back to standard lanes. Enjoy the matchup, the aggression we get to see here in the early game.
And proceed with caution in the duo lanes. Unless Envy is willing to just opt into those crazy trades once again. The Karma and Jhin early games are really strong, so they should be able to throw their weight around a little bit. They're just going to have to be careful about an early gank from EnVyUs.
Yeah, that's the big thing they have to watch out for here. I assume that Envy, they just wanted to kind of double down on pressure in that bottom lane. They wanted to have something that had lane advantage, so the Karma going for them as well as the Jhin, both very dominant champions during the laning phase. And to top it off, an Ignite.
Look at this ping. An early ward shows that they're not at Gromp, which is what they suspected, but that shows, and now actually warded. We're going to see coming over from Proxen here. Might be some danger.
Yeah, we're seeing really early aggression. Proxen has been warded out by Meteos. Meteos doesn't want to tango with Elisa in this early in the game. For all Meteos knows, Proxen would actually have his smite, and since Meteos doesn't have smite, he's not willing to deal with that.
He backs off. He looks like he's still a bit afraid to take it, too.
Yeah. Well, he saw that it actually ran back, so he's like, Meteos is here. Meteos has some knowledge.
There he goes. He found him.
They both almost have smite.
Their smite
Yeah,
could come
it's
back
very
at
close.
exactly the same time.
Gets it, boys. Boom. Raptor to Meteos. But now that smite's there, Proxen's going to be forced to leave. He doesn't decide to go for it.
Jensen trading into a corruption potion as well is very aggressive in the mid lane, but he doesn't want to let Envy get pressure in all three lanes, which is what they're potentially set up to do. Lissandra can shove in early, the Pantheon gets ahead, and the dual lane, as we'd already talked about. So basically, Jensen wants to keep at least one lane of pressure to protect Meteos of all things, because if all three lanes are pushed, Proxen could have very easy time countering them.
Love to see on Ninja on aggressive champions. You may see a few turret dives from him in a 1v1 situation.
Yeah.
Proxen picks up his red. Remember, Meteos' was left up as well, but they'll be meeting possibly without that on Meteos' side.
Yeah, exactly. Meteos can go do the Scuttle Crab right now, and Proxen a little bit late on his level 3 because of the time he took to invade. The teleport from Jensen comes through, buys another Doran's. That's that's how you have to play these matchups. Dump a little bit of gold into that, and Proxen not level 3 just yet. There you go.
Meteos keeping eyes on Proxen, though. Doing his best to live a little bit in Proxen's jungle as well. And also, this is keeping the duo lane honest for Envy. If Gragas is going to be in their jungle, they can't be pushed up.
Oh, he used his distortion. This is a gank.
Oh, the chain almost locks in. He's going to have to get away from Proxen on this. I don't know if it'll work. Does Proxen know which one it is? Yes, he does. Door number 1 is the correct one. First blood over to him. It looks like that fizzles out in the bot lane. Nothing comes of Hakuo in the chase.
Yeah, the Pantheon Ignite comes up big there, ends up giving the vision, and then Lee Sin is able to land the Q, and Proxen played that right. Jensen has been trading with Ninja because he has to, because otherwise you're just going to eat spear after spear after spear and get chunked out. So he uses the distortion in a trade, and that opens up the gate right here.
Yeah, Jensen had also been doing a lot of good things in this lane. He potentially was pushing Ninja out of lane, and I think he had a sense of security because Meteos was in the opponent's jungle from the quadrant in which Proxen approached. It just wasn't the right, it was like ships in the night passing in the jungle. Proxen made it through, and he surprised Jensen in the mid lane.
Yeah, and last time he had seen Proxen, he was heading off to the left side.
Oh.
Hold on.
2 more shots here for Lod. He's got his final one up. It might have to go to Smoothie, though.
Hakuo.
The exhaust comes in for the shot as well. Beautiful timing on the exhaust to Lod's final shot. They can't cancel out onto Hakuo, though, and get that kill. Sneaky still in. Oh, the flash shot! Lod gets back to the final bullet and comes up with the kill. That's the hook. Is it line and sinker, though? And there's no follow-up. Meteos in a bad spot. 3 more again for Lod, but he doesn't have the gap closed to get in. And what a tit for tat from the 2v2 in the bot lane, including Meteos.
Could this be a tale of 2 games? If Envy wins this one, they send it all the way to a decisive Game 5. The start has been fortunate for Envy. The gank by Proxen was true, and even though Meteos arrived towards the end of that gank, Laud is the one that walks away with the kill.
Yeah.
And this is the game where Sneaky goes call after dealing with the Fed Jhin.
The Jhin Ash matchup. Apparently something's going one person's way a little bit more frequently. But yeah, because Meteos was down bottom, got chunked out, it ends up helping Proxen out. He gets to triple buff Meteos. And I was trying to find if... There we go. Okay, so Ninja went.
Thunderlords.
Thunderlords. Didn't go for the poke. Instead went for the just full-on trade, try to burst them out. That's a Thunderlords Lee Sin, too. And this is aggressive.
3's a crowd, ladies and gentlemen, and Ninja is having a party in the mid lane with the rest of Cloud9 at the moment. They did just come up big on Jensen, but they made sure to get that back right quick.
Yeah, that was a really timely roam by Smoothie. And also, Pantheon doesn't have many ways he can play the lane that aren't super aggressive. Yeah. So, especially without Flash, it is set up to be countered. Jensen just distorts into close range, lands the chain. There's no big escape after that.
Kind of where you accept your fate.
Yep.
Going down.
You really try to soften people up with those Qs over and over again until you can get them in the Heartstreaker Strike crit range with your combo. And Jensen is staying right out of that and just going for these really quick trades and trying to whittle Ninja down.
Hex Drinker's already there for Ninja, so Jensen hasn't, even without Ignite, he's using Teleport. Harder time to pop Ninja out of lane now. Oh. And Lod using that aggression. It's something we actually haven't seen Envy do too much. They always give Lod, or lately I should say, they always give Lod a tank. But when he was on the Trundle that could go forward and be aggressive, or the Karma that can attack from an aggressive range, they use that quite a bit in a 2v2.
Yeah, Hakuo has been on those melee supports, and Lod has been on a lot of utility, and now they're giving him something a little bit more on that aggressive side. It is still a utility carry, but then this is just a flat, dominant lane, and honestly, it's just like, this is for Game 3, boys. Like, what just happened last game is not going to happen again. They give themselves a very favorable matchup in the 2-on-2, and it's kind of the salty picks.
And we question, would they have a tank, or are they going to try to put power or comfort in every single lane so everybody has a chance to carry?
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for Envy. They've fallen behind in all 3 of their games, so they're playing this early game extremely aggressively.
Yeah. Like, Proxen's built. He's got an early Tiamat. He's Thunderlord's Lee Sin. He's just trying to pressure. He's level 5, he's close to 6 here, as well as Lot, and they're just trying to get that first turret blood on the bottom side of the map. And honestly, they might do it because Meteos hit back. This minion wave wasn't as big as they would like it to be. It's getting pretty close.
Volley was a necessity there. Sneaky's able to clear quite a few minions with that. Had it been any other AD carry without some AoE, that turret would be down, and now they actually may have the resources to stop it, especially with Meteos just on the end, or it could follow into some kills.
But you have to be careful. Ninja's coming in, exactly.
Is he out? He's out. The man drop comes in. Ninja's looking for to activate. Oh, the play off of the jump. He gets the hook back. I don't know if they want to pull it in. Kicked away by, or Sneaky is kicked away. Roxton goes down. That's a 1-for-1 traded. Retribution kills everywhere. Here comes Jensen to nuke him down. That's going to be a chain kill. 2 for him as well as Impact getting in the mess. And a triple kill for Jensen.
That's an ace. Across the map, Impact ended up getting Seraph in the top lane.
That was not the way Envy had envisioned their early game dive going, but as we said, there's not too many different ways you can play that Pantheon, so this was a telegraphed play, and C9 was able to answer it. They didn't immediately fall to the ultimate from Pantheon, and Jensen was then able to teleport over, I believe, to get into range to pick up that triple kill. It was a counter-played move by C9, and while they did suffer some casualties, getting that triple kill on the Jensen pre-10 minutes is amazing.
Yeah, and this is big because Ninja thinks he's safe. He's around double pink ward, so he ulties away. He got a little bit chunked out beforehand, and then they overchase. They got the turret first blood gold. It's way too far down this lane. The TP comes through. Great kickback there from Proxen, and they pick up Sneaky, but this right here.
Yeah, as he was doing the kickback is the moment Jensen decided to teleport to the ward in the tri-brush, and then they actually are so smart about giving those kills away. Impact had that big duel in the top lane where he procced Meganar as well and was able to pick up a solo kill, so big plays across the board for C9 to equalize the early game.
And it's just not been Seraph's day against Impact. Impact has the edge in these matchups, seemingly every time.
And that play itself, we have actually seen Cloud9 do before. They're ready to defend low health turrets. Last time it was Sneaky on that Jhin who used the ult to clear a wave, and Impact was there to start it with Gnar. That's a scenario they're very familiar with. Probably a reason they came out with a very heavy ace so
they might
early in the
fast
game.
push this. On top side of the map, they might fast push this. They have an item advantage on Laud. And we'll see what happens here because Impact doesn't have flash, and Gnar's wave clear is abysmal.
Yeah, C9 knows they can't raise. This is actually just Envy out-rotating. There was that extended fight in the bottom side, and EnVyUs just bounced back very decisively.
We'll see how they use it. This is the first time we've really seen Envy not reacting. Usually it's Envy on the other side of the turret using their ult to stop Cloud9. But here they have the upper hand. It doesn't seem like Cloud9 scattered or kind of got scared by it. So the turret is grabbed. How can Envy use that pressure now?
This is
Forward
great.
wards, what do they do?
This is great from Envy because they've always had difficulties closing games out, but getting these advantages have also eluded them in the early game. This is one of the first times we've seen Envy with a good early game lead, but it's still something where it might get equalized here from Cloud9. But here comes Proxen from the backside. They don't have a ward in this bush.
Doesn't connect. Sonic Wave. And looks like they also have Dark Passage if anything gets too scary in that instance.
Nice.
Oh, so fast!
Whoa, that's going to be a good hit. Actually goes through a line of minions, one onto him. A very nice hook from Smoothie into the position of Jensen. They lock down Proxen immediately. Remember, that's a Tiamat, not a tank, Lee Sin. And it is also going to be Seraph that gets taken down. They keep kind of just falling into these fights when they should be backing up after losing something.
And the kills keep going to Jensen. The walk can take over a game.
The edge hitbox onto Ninja. He thought he walked out, but it caught him. And they get more kills. These should not be falling in the way of Cloud9.
What are you doing?
Making these openings for themselves as well as being gifted kills on a silver platter.
He is 7-1-1 right now, 12 minutes in.
But Laud walked into a wallop from Gnar. That thing doesn't sneak up on you. He was just in the wrong spot right here. I also have to credit Smoothie for setting up so many plays. His thresh has actually been incredible so far. And the 7 kills on a Jensen is going to put Envy in a world of pain.
One thing that helps those initiations for a Thresh is knowing your team is right behind you to keep going. But this hook as well, spot on into the ending position of where Proxen was going to stop as he fought Jensen.
Yeah, and Jensen does such a great job here. Flashes away as Smoothie knew Proxen was going to come through there. Uses everything on him. They pick him up, and then Seraph had overcommitted at that point, had walked up way too far forward, and then he just gets picked up there, and Ninja is backing.
Yeah, on a ward that had been placed earlier. Smoothie just walks up.
He actually holds himself against the wall, so it's a little bit less obvious, but
And as the kills just continue to get chained together, maybe action happening on the start. Laud flashes back, so he's already down a flash before he gets hit. Ash arrow, thresh hook, and a LeBlanc. It's the same strat over and over. Oh, he's trying to liberate.
Oh, the man drop in. They're trying to go for broke. And it's not going to happen. He's broke himself, gets taken down. 30 seconds on the clock for these ones, so you know Envy's going to be coming up fast to try and get more kills. But Cloud9 is just racking them up and going through the batting order. The curtain has been called, and EnVyUs is just going to give a little dance here and for the audience.
Jensen has double-digit kills before 14 minutes. The team is setting him up for all of these things, and Envy is throwing themselves at him. And part of this is because of the composition from Envy. They have the Lee Sin and the Pantheon, so their way of winning is to just play, like you said, full-on aggressive, dive all the time, but boy, is Cloud9 ready for it. And Jensen is really fed.
It's kind of like any engage is the best engage right now for Envy.
Just so great here from the bottom lane all series long. Smoothie on this Thresh and Sneaky on this Ashe. And hold on. Jensen wants some more kills, but Impact.
The thing with this is C9's the one setting up the kills for Jensen. Like, Jensen's usually pretty low when he's dashing in to like throw a Q at someone. It's C9's team that's giving him all these kills, but it's the best use of their gold because soon he'll be able to just straight up one-shot people.
I absolutely love that they do that. They're getting him towards those break points much earlier. And who is going to build tanky on this squad? Envy do not have a tank. It was one of the things we were talking about when the game started. Proxen not on that tank. No Strength of Ages. Very aggressive build. Hakuo not on a tank himself again. So Jensen gets to pretty much body everybody in this game.
Yeah. We're getting a new line here. We're going to need an industrial department, sales, everything. Body by Jensen's going global. Impact gets himself out safely on that one. That's one thing that Envy has had to deal with all series long is watching Cloud9 get out of these fights with slivers of health. We've talked about how that makes your mentality change throughout a game. That happens 4 times. You might flash the 5th time and put yourself in a real bad spot because that's the time you want it. You're sick of losing it, and it changes the way you play.
I really do feel like we're seeing some pretty obvious elements of tilt from Envy, like in Ninja jumping in on Pantheon when someone is already dead. Laud walking up with no flash to a Mega Gnar who can just wallop him.
They just overextended in that first bottom lane dive. They had first turret gold. They already had that 2v3 kill when they ended up killing Sneaky so early in the game. And then they ended up just throwing it all away off of too much aggression.
You're basically stressing as well to not make that mistake. So when it happens,
oh, we blew it. Exactly. Yeah. And then you try to get back in. You're like, oh, I blew it again. You're down 50.
You fold it over.
All in again.
And to add on all that, it's an elimination game for Envy. They lose this game, the summer split is over. C9 wins this game. They go up to face Immortals in the next round of the playoffs.
Yeah, and it would be their first semifinals since spring 2015. So over a year since Cloud9 had made it to a semis.
Sneaky was talking about it. I want that experience back. Seems like they're able to carry pretty strong throughout this game. They got a little trap there in game 1 as Envy was able to take them late, but it seems Cloud9 can adapt game from game. Realizes, they got to put down the work early, and they got to make that work stick. That comes from turrets, and that comes from dragons. Something they've been getting a lot more. Save the dragons this game.
Save the dragons.
Save the dragons. They're going to...
Sneaky is trying to get a
few.
turret trade. Where's that arrow going?
Woo!
Whoa, nowhere.
Just cooling off the map.
They kept 2 people pushing, so it's actually only a 3-man squad here of C9.
It's 2 pretty high damage dealers, too, against turrets. The range, they get to keep their distance. And they end up just trading even there. This mid turret did have a wave pushed in on it. Seraph.
Are they going to run him down? They're thinking about it.
That body slam.
And there's the flash. That's really all they wanted.
But I think
Jensen's still chasing.
Smoothie caught out.
Almost gets through his box. Gets taken down, though. Are they going to keep this? The team is coming up. Impact's not close to Gnar. Jensen, he can delete people immediately.
I think he's going for that record, Jat.
Yeah, 14 kills is the single game playoff record for kills.
One more forward.
Can't
Tries
quite
to
get him
mimic as
anymore.
well. Cannot get the ultimate out. And the Deadly Flourish fires back. It's almost touch and go here for Envy as they could lose a member, but they all get out alive here, and Cloud9's going to have a wave on there now in the second tier mid turret.
Yeah, and Envy, this is the problem with their composition is, oh, wait.
Whoa! There. And there's Pantheon.
Oh!
Coming in for more.
Got some new shots for that absolutely deleted segment. Control-Alt-Delete PTL now.
Somebody order a Pantheon? God, just deleting everybody. And yeah, one of the big problems with the composition from Envy, they don't have a tank, first off, and Jensen's fed. But secondly, when you get behind, you don't have wave clear in this team comp. It's only the Lissandra.
right.
It's medium range wave clear. You're a threat from Jensen the entire time.
And they have an early game team with early game builds already. They've gone triple Ghostblade. You're thinking they're going to snowball ahead with that, but they've actually fallen behind 7,000 gold in the first 18 minutes. If last game was desperation, I don't even know what this
Oh, nailed him right in the kisser. Then he takes a hook, put it in the books. Aqua is going to go down next. A double kill for Jensen. 13, 1, and 4. Will he put any more on that score list? Their champion standing in front of him. And a bit of game time to have it done.
Yeah, led the league in kills, definitely going to be leading the playoff in kills for a while. 14 kills already in one game in this series, looking to top that mark here and set an NALCS playoff record with 2 more kills.
Incredible stuff here from Cloud9. It was kind of questioning game 1 if they could put their foot down and really make the game theirs. Whatever they discussed between games, righted that ship. And they seem to be going for 2 now sub 30-minute wins that could be on the map.
Okay, Meteos has an ohm record. That's how far ahead they are right now. And you can just dive the turret.
Why did everybody laugh?
Yeah, you love They want to dive turrets. It's a thing you can do. Come on, man.
A lot of people will, you know, buy some tank stats to tank the turret themselves, but instead buys the ohm wrecker. It has some great health and armor on it, but it's all about getting that turret.
And a little known fact about the ohm wrecker is it resets the heat that is a turret mechanic. So the turret does more damage the longer it's hitting you. If you ohm wrecker that, it puts that counter to 0. So if they want to do like a big extended turret dive, they can. You also don't see it normally because there are better options available most of the time. I approve of the choice though.
Fantastic buy. 7,000 gold up at 20 minutes in the game. Cloud9 has enough map control that this dragon as well will be theirs. Let's see what lane they go to with this ohm wrecker first.
Inferno Drake will help them greatly. I like how Jensen abandoned finishing his Zonias and is just trying to rush to death cap as quickly as possible.
321 AP already.
This series itself, though, has been so one-sided aside from the first game, and you can really feel the teamwork and cohesion just being much better for C9.
Even the first game had Cloud9 with an advantage as well. And they kind of threw it away, and Envy were able to stall out and play that teamfight comp. And Cloud9 just seemed more crisp across the board as the series went on.
Yeah, like, if Jensen is able to get a couple more kills in this game, it's not just because he's been playing great, it's because these kills are just set up for him. Whether it's an Ash Arrow or Meteos throwing someone back at him or smoothly landing tons of hooks, and the discipline of C9, they've actually been holding off, like, in the middle of skirmishes and teamfights to let Jensen get these kills. So shows such discipline and such commitment to Jensen as a carry.
And growth. Look at where he was when we started as well. A timid mid laner who actually would be in the back of these fights, not really trying to put up any priority damage. Now he's the one, like you said, that they're feeding these resources into with confidence. And that's been a ridiculous change for him. In a good way, obviously. The drop coming in on the back. Chain misses from Jensen, but there's more chains where the first one comes from. We'll have to see if they can make him count. Proxen as well, trying to find an end with a resonating strike. Impact back onto Ninja. And a huge hit into the wall. The body slam
15.
into the Nar scoop. There are the kills. Jensen setting records. 16. Cloud9 moves themselves up into even more of a lead here in game number 4, 23-5. As they move on to the second tier turret and look to put some finishing touches on the base that could bring them to the next.
Yeah, what a play by Impact as well. Just staying around at low health with no Guardian Angel, massively setting up that play once again.
And you were talking about how, you know, honestly, it's a team effort. They are funneling these kills into Jensen. They are setting him up. This is a record-breaking performance from Cloud9 in the playoffs, and especially Jensen here. 16, 1, and 5. And he's just trying to set that record higher. Like, yeah, give it about 3 more years, maybe somebody will beat him.
He's got 12,600 gold right now. That's the gold of Seraph and Ninja combined.
A little ambitious. He's got a GA.
Yes. Ambitious at best, but
Team.
this is the time. This is all they need. Get that exhaust down onto Seraph. He could be the next one. Meteos is low on mana. Are they getting ahead of themselves? Lod gets the summoner heal in and gets the safety as well. And C9 with a little bit of inconsiderate movement in their play.
Yes, I do think C9 was getting ahead of themselves. Impact was definitely getting ahead of the team with that teleport.
It's just saying, that was basically saying GA is enough time for the team to back me up.
Yeah, watching this again, Impact only about 70% on his Narbar for a lot of this fight, and Sneaky's in the jungle kind of setting this one up, but then, boop. Oh, triple into an Ash Arrow too.
That was
beautiful.
That was a Meteos explosive cask immediately into the Gnar, into an Ash Arrow. There's so much layered on top of that, and the triple kill there to set the record.
Yeah, there's not too many playoff games. The regular season record, I believe, is 21 or 23.
Something
but
ridiculous.
it's still very impressive that he's been able to pick up this many kills this early in the game. Also, in a clinching match to send them to the semifinals.
Yeah, usually it's very timid from both teams. You have low kill games once you get to the Nexus, but all out brawls here. No holds bar. We'll see what continues to happen with that 9,000 gold lead. Oh, everybody dodges, but Loud was walking back into the jungle. Another unfortunate event unfolds here for Envy, and Cloud9 has capitalized on these every single time, and now with always more than one kill.
Meteos has a Manor BF sword.
Oh, okay.
I could defend the Ohm Wrecker. I cannot defend.
What do you mean?
Rocket's BF
Did you not
sword.
just see him kill Proxen?
His best friend sword, man. He's like, hey, best friends, let's go.
Oh my.
They're gonna get down Baron. And
Oh, somebody ordered Pantheon again.
there it is. There. Oh my.
Two kills now with that BF
Yes,
sword.
sword, man. You guys can say what you want, but
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know.
Envy is really falling apart, and they have been throughout
Right.
the majority of the series. And C9, they're playing super loose, and this was one of their strengths early in the spring, where they were kind of the team that didn't seem to care, and they were able to pull off anything.
Yeah.
But they have said they've gotten more coordination. Maybe they're mixing in a little bit of that fun with dominant play. Gotta watch out for the Sandra. Just use all of his cooldowns.
Mimic.
Yeah.
if he can get himself to the brush and deny vision, that would be his goal, but he cannot. Gets taken down immediately, but the work's being done off the ball on the other side of the map here. Actually,
Stop a little bit of that aggression.
they're gonna back up.
When 14,000 gold is dead on your map, your 12,000 gold lead doesn't warrant a push in the top lane. They have to wait for Jensen to respawn.
Wait, the team died. We have to wait.
Yeah.
So Zanya's now for multiple members on the side of Cloud9. I mean, they've been there, but it's these things that are denying Envy the productivity in fights, getting advantages, finding a kill, being able to zero somebody out is not something Envy has found for quite some time unless they're losing multiple members to the one that they get.
Meteos has had enough fun. BF sword gone. Completed Zonia's. Needed the combined cost to finish that one.
Reaper is going to yell at me after this game.
Yeah, unless you
Swap
use
it out.
Zonia's to Zonia's on the fountain. Sometimes that's the only reason you pick that item up. Oh, wow. Wow.
I blinked. You guys?
Yeah,
I blinked.
that's a thing.
That's the power
C9 really looking strong. This could be the push that sends him into semifinals.
of Jensen right now. Absolutely plowing through this game.
He was a great mid laner last split, and
Yeah.
he was up there for people's all-pro
They're
vote.
just feeding him kills.
19-20 could be on the board. That's number 20 for Jensen as he goes double digits easily in this game. They're looking for the kills, padding a few of the stats here with smiles on their faces as they will move on in the NALCS playoffs. Meteos get off the fountain trying to do what he can. That's going to be the Nexus. That's going to be the series. Cloud9 take it 3-1 over Envy and move on to face Immortals.
Oh man, huge smiles for Jensen, and why not? Not only has C9 made their first semifinals since the spring of 2015, they set a small little record along the way, 20 kills in a playoff game. That's gonna last a while.
Yeah, it actually breaks the regular season record as well, which was held by Skara at 19 kills on AP Master Yi.
Wow.
That's right.
It's an age-old record.
The MLG, he kept getting his Yi in. Got a pentakill in those games.
But still, now, Cloud9 guaranteed to be in Toronto.
Yeah.
Third or fourth place match or finals. And they've booked their ticket there. In over a year, they haven't had a semifinal appearance. And with 10 championship points to their name previously, now boosting that up, it gets them even closer to Worlds.
And there are a few changes coming in this split, like we said on the bot lane, but as well behind the players is really what counted here. Reaper coming in, seeing that the team was in a position that didn't really act like a team. And he said, I'm going to fix that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was a lot of teamwork coming through and a lot of trust that is involved in setting up those kills.
Yeah.
And even when Jensen died at the very end of that game with a, impenetrable gold lead, they still decided that they should hold off and wait for him to come back. And this is the way you want to finish a series when you're going to be going up against Immortals in the semifinals. The momentum needs to be carried through if they want to win.
Absolutely disgusting games here from Cloud9. Double-digit kills 12 minutes in for Jensen, able to actually play to their win conditions, pick compositions a lot of the time, and seriously, they looked really good today. Aside from that first game, Cloud9 were on point.
And I think Cloud9 did this in a way that's advantageous to them moving forward as well. Yes, they showed a Syndra. The Thresh is there. It has been for Bunny and Smoothie.
And then the same thing.
Yeah, the same thing across the board. So while you expect Cloud9 to maybe come in with that, there's probably so much more that they do have.
Yeah, they're looking pretty strong. And I mean, we hear people talking around the league as well, saying C9's looking really, really good. They did a lot of switching around at the start of the season, figuring out, do they want Smoothie? Do they want Bunny? What type of style do they want to play? But also, like, just looking at the standard lanes, Impact doesn't need to be left out to dry in lane swaps. And when he is left out to dry in standard lanes, he seems pretty good at fending for himself.
Alive.
So
Holy moly.
If you're a Cloud9 fan, you have to be quite hopeful for them moving into the semifinals, and the C9 hype might start building, especially when Jensen gets, I mean, even in the 2 games off the top of my head, 14-kill game, 20-kill game, he was averaging over 10 kills per game in this series alone.
Absolute monster. And the team set him up as well. And Jensen was talking about how this was a split of so much improvement for him because of Reaper, because of the coach. He didn't actually realize how much a coach could help him in his play and help him improve. And it's definitely showing here the team is coordinated. And when they can play to him like that and set him up for victory, well, you got to feel good about that. When your coach teaches your team to feed you, it's got to feel pretty good.
Got to feel very good, and it's worked for them. Cloud9 now move on, and for the player perspective on that series, let's head down to Azael, who's got an interview with Cloud9's man in the mid lane.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Jensen, and what a series for you. You know, may have started off a little slow, but, you know, tying the NALCS all-time kill record in playoffs, you know, with your Syndra game at 14, and then did you ever expect to get 20 kills in a playoff game right after that?
I had no idea what happened that game. It was very chaotic, to say the least. They played like a very snowbally early game comp, and they kind of fell behind, so it just snowballed in our favor instead, and then I just picked up a lot of kills. Yeah,
the question on everyone's mind, did you get an S+?
I hope so. I couldn't tell because it's custom game, sadly.
Okay, unlucky, but we'll give it to you anyway. So coming into this series, you know, you guys were obviously quite favored by most people's predictions, and you know, having that rough game 1, what was your mindset going into the rest of the series? Going into game 2, were you guys still super confident that you guys had this, and what did you think went wrong in that first loss?
I think we just made a few misplays. I think EnVy plays really good with flank comps, and we were 2 immobile carries, so it was pretty hard to like team fight against them. And I think they played pretty well game 1. I think the way they play those kind of flank comps, they do it really well. So it's pretty hard to play against them, and it's really hard to take fights because you don't want to be like in small areas versus those AoE, high CC, high burst comps. So we kind of had a hard time like picking the right fights because we were not really used to playing against those kind of team comps, and we knew we were really good because the scrim results have been improved significantly. So yeah, we knew as long as we played our game and we wouldn't like get outdrafted, we would have a good shot of winning the series.
Awesome. So speaking of the draft, you know, you guys have been showing us some new stuff. We saw Syndra. We saw a lot of priority on Tom Kench now. You know, what are your thoughts about some of these new champions? Is this something that came to be because of some of the patch changes, or is it just something that you kind of discovered and are feeling more comfortable on?
It's a mix of everything, I think. I like Syndra a lot because he's like kind of strong like at all points during the laning phase. So I feel like I can just do whatever I want. Like I can roam if I want to. I can usually always win my lane. So it's just a very good comfort pick to me, and yeah, it works well, so why not?
Awesome. So you guys have secured a place in Toronto. Obviously, don't know if you're going to be in the 3rd place of the finals just yet. And you will be facing Immortals next week in the semifinals. And it's a team that you had lost to, you know, both times in the regular season, but you had taken games. And you know, looking forward to that opponent, are you guys feeling confident? You spoke about better scrim results. Is there, you know, hope going forward for C9 fans? Do you guys think you'll be able to do it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we have improved a lot in the past few weeks. So I do think we have a pretty good shot at taking down Immortals. They're obviously a strong team, but we definitely have what it takes to take them down.
Awesome. Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing that match next weekend. But that's going to be it for us. We're going to head it back to the desk.
Thank you very much, Azale. We'll give him an S+ performance on that LeBlanc here in Game 4 out of Jensen, securing the victory, the series victory for Cloud9. Moving on to the semifinals, as Azale mentioned, they'll be going up against Immortals. That's decided because they are already the top seed out of those 4 teams, so they're guaranteed to play Immortals. Well, let's talk about how they got there here in 3-1 fashion, the 4th game being the most dominant of all the games. But of course, we have to look at Champ Select and the adjustments that were made, because we were wondering what Envy was going to do, swapping to blue side. They decide to go all in on the all-in strategy.
I mean, this is as all in as you can go, I think. I mean, maybe you could go something else top lane that's a little more all in, because Lysandra can throw her E away and actually run away. But either way, I think I don't understand why they had to be blue side to do this draft. If it is,
you can
kind
keep
of like
understanding out of this game.
Okay, you're right.
There might not be a whole lot of understanding, so let's work towards it, though.
Okay, well, I think obviously they're trying to go, like we said, some snowball all-in comp that's just gonna like jump on you and blow people up. There's a bit of a question mark about why you didn't put the Pantheon top versus Gnar and the Lysandra mid versus LeBlanc. It's better matchups, you think, and equally as snowball, if not more so that way. So that was a little bit of a question mark.
The thing I found particularly puzzling was the fact that Envy kept playing as if they thought C9 didn't know how to play their champions. It's like, okay, Thresh Flay interrupts pretty much all of Lee Sin's and Pantheon's
Move blocks.
move blocks. There's Arrow. Ashe Arrow can be used at point blank as a CC as well. It's just like, where is the logic here?
Gragas is a fantastic disengaged pickup for
like
what are
I mean,
a lot of burst champions. It definitely, let's look at a couple clips then and see where it all broke apart for Envy. In particular, 8 minutes in, cross-map ace. This rarely happens, but here it is. It's Envy securing first turret gold, but then getting far too greedy on the engagement on the backside.
This is kind of like Ninja just being like, well, I ulted in here, I may as well chase something. This is
Like,
the
I'm
most
Half-Life.
This is the most telegraphed jump ever. Now that he's in there, Proxen feels like he needs to go save him, so he takes this kick onto Sneaky, and sure, they're able to kill him, but now they're just way overextended and chunked out. This is where the Jensen snowball is going to start, as well as Impact is picking up a solo kill. And it's just, they give up a cross-map ace with, Jensen getting huge off this.
3 kills off of that one.
And the
Moving-
Riddler couldn't have figured this one out, because it just made no sense. I just don't understand what happened with it. I was so disappointed.
Well, what was so sad, too, was like, this is like the first time their bot lane was really playing well. They were getting the kills. They can just take that turn and start moving around the map and maybe like blow that snowball open. They have the globals.
It was a really stark contrast, because we saw in Game 3, right, the domination out of the C9 bot lane. Here we go. Tom Kench is back off the table. We choose for the Karma Jhin lane into that Ashe Thresh, and they do quite well, as you mentioned, winning the lane in the strict 2v2. But as soon as we bring the rest of the teams into the mix, everyone lost their mind. Stay out of my lane. Yeah, that's one of those moments where you're like, just no, stay away. Like, let me do my thing down here. Doesn't work out for Envy. Of course, the most important aspect of that replay is where the gold was concentrated. 3 kills picked up on LeBlanc, pushed him to 4 kills at just 8 minutes into the game. That's an insane amount of gold. No matter how you itemize at this point, LeBlanc is just bursting through you. So it's no real surprise that with that kind of start, Jensen's able to accrue a 20 gold, new record for a single game in the postseason, in the playoffs here in North America.
I mean, I'd still say that's a surprise. You can go 4-1 in the first 10 minutes, and I wouldn't bet on you getting 20 kills.
But
20
if
plus
you
kills.
saw that game,
Yeah, I mean, what you
maybe more.
If you showed me that game at like 20, 15 minutes, I'd be like, all right, he's going to break it.
Right.
'Cause he was at like 19, 18 for a little while. I was like, yeah, he's got that.
Absolutely gross. All right, well, that was just the first big pickup for Cloud9. Another one came not 3 minutes later, 4 for 0 in the mid lane here for Cloud9.
And this is just pure grotesque. I mean, this group is 4 here, and you see Envy, they're looking, okay, maybe it's time for us to make the engagement. Jensen
I mean,
goes in for some reason.
I mean, you talk about Envy disrespecting like
And then this is like, why are you going in here? You know there's Arrow, you know there's Hook. I mean, I think the catalyst, I'm pretty sure Ninja jumps in here at the end in the back of, oh yeah, he's gonna channel this. I think on the ward, is it a mission?
Oh, he's just
This
recalling.
reason they get hooked by Smoothie, just like, maybe we could get another kill. Yes, please. Sign me up for some
It's going to be
bait.
another kill here. The turret will be picked up by Cloud9.
And then Lod walks in melee range here of Impact and get
just
done.
gets wall up. Yep.
It's like, I mean,
It was so weird because like C9 was making mistakes too. Like Meteos missed that pretty easy body slam. Jensen W's right next to a Pantheon who just stuns him.
they haven't played in 2 weeks. We just chalk it up.
Nah, it did just definitely seem, though, like what was a decent start in terms of for EnVy in the bottom lane,
Absolutely.
right? Basically their decision was we either win or lose this game right now with our move to the bot lane the way they did. Unfortunately, they flipped that coin, and the coin came up in C9's favor.
I feel like if this was game 1 or game 2, I think EnVy actually plays this game correctly, slower. They take the bot turret, they reset. And I think it was just kind of like mental was a little broken.
Well, they just
as
wanted to
some
go.
people might
Yeah.
say.
The thing is, I thought they tunneled so hard on trying to break that first turret because they pushed that bottom lane S3 with like 4 waves back to back, just sitting at the turret and thinking C9, maybe they're not going to respond and let us get the free turret.
Right.
Of course they respond. Of course LeBlanc TP's in. Of course you're going to get collapsed on after you go for that
It
play.
does make you wonder in that initial replay, that 8-minute replay, if they had taken the turret and just backed, right? No engagement to follow. What would be the outcome of this game, right? What would be the trajectory of this game? Probably wildly different. Not saying that EnVy wins, just saying that, okay, it at least goes on another 10 minutes and they have more of a chance.
And they have good tools. I mean, you swap topside. Let's say Pantheon saved his ult there.
They
Right.
still
Ult's on the
managed
next
to
wave
get that
topside.
tier 2 with that out-rotation. They out-rotated Cloud9 in this game in that final movement to the top side where they were able to trade the tier 2 top for the tier 1 bottom, which was fantastic.
Right, despite the massive kill deficit, they're actually only down like 3 or 4K, and even in turrets, they were moving around the map seemingly fine. It was just as soon as the two teams got close together, they lost their minds or something. I
Right,
don't know.
playing with a little bit too much urgency, and part of that might come from the fact that they are a younger roster in this, elimination best of 5 essentially, and so with the pressure on, moving a little bit too quick for their own good. Now, each of our players gave it their all on the Rift today, but one stood above the crowd to earn our Player of the Series award. He broke records along the way. It's Cloud9's mid laner in Jensen. Now, in game 2, as Syndra, he was 14-2-6 with 83% kill participation, 880 damage per minute. You move ahead to his game 3 performance, and it's a 4-0-4 deathless game on Cassiopeia. And then, of course, we close it out with that record-breaking LeBlanc game, 20 kills in a single one.
Yeah, I mean, it was over the whole series. Even game 1 where they lost, he was playing pretty well. He
won every lane.
Yeah, he won every lane. He received attention sometimes from the enemy jungler and still came out okay for the most part. His champ pool actually, I think, gave Ninja a lot of trouble. It's just the Syndra pick itself was something they didn't seem prepared for. And
Right.
having that much power around your mid laner at all points in the series just makes the game much easier to play.
I am very curious to see how the remaining teams in playoffs deal with the Syndra pick, both from Jensen and others who pick him up. As we know, Bjergsen is a proficient Syndra player.
Flashbacks.
Right, from his initial foray into the LCS back in Europe is a big Syndra player. So the question is, this is a fantastic pick. Is a fantastic champion falling back into the meta for players like Jensen and Bjergsen, who were already top of the mid lane in those laning statistics. This is going to help them even more.
I mean, as a jungler, it's just the most
the worst.
hardening thing to gank a Syndra. It's like, okay, can you get to her? No, you get stunned. Can you kill her? She'll kill you back.
Right.
Okay, can you wave clear? No, she just does so many things. And with the combination of the meta right now with things like Tahm Kench, Thresh, and the Shen on the top side, which maybe I mentioned already, it's just so powerful because it's so difficult to actually get onto the Syndra and pop her. There's not a whole lot of champions that can actually surprise her and kill her flat out.
I doubt we saw the end of his champ pool as well. I mean, it didn't look like he was tested that hard in this series.
Things
So
are waterfall.
we know the Vel'Koz is still there. I bet he's still practiced up
The
on that.
Vel'Koz is still there. The Vladimir was sitting on the ban list the whole time. He played 3 unique champions, the Syndra twice, the Cassiopeia, the LeBlanc. Of course, we have the Zillion still available. I always fall back to Varus. We saw him play that earlier in the split and in past splits. So, yeah, I mean, this guy is looking to be informed. The question is, and particularly with this Cloud9 roster, can he keep this up? When you're going up against the likes of Pobelter and Bjergsen remaining in this tournament, the mid lane is stacked.
The one criticism I will offer to him is that a lot of the team fights were played a little bit haphazardly, particularly with the ultimate usage on the Syndra, targeting that tank so many times, maybe missing some stuns here and there, maybe reserve the need to use that so quickly.
Right. Absolutely. So we'll look to see if he can clean up the play, but regardless, a very strong performance out of him today. Now let's take a look at our updated playoff bracket. With their win today, Cloud9 will move on to the next round and will face Immortals in the semifinal as the highest seed. Now tomorrow, tune in to see whether or not CLG or Liquid will move on to take on our league leaders in TSM. Now we also have an update to our championship points standings. With EnVy eliminated from playoffs, they earn that minimum 20 championship points, but Cloud9 move up to a minimum of of 40 with their win today. Still plenty to be figured out when it comes to the championship points, but we will get to that when we do. Now, the next round of LCS playoffs hits your screens tomorrow, starting with EU LCS quarterfinals between H2K and Fnatic. That action starts at 8 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Central European, and the North American LCS quarterfinal continues with Counterlogic Gaming versus Liquid immediately following. So time may vary on start there. But gentlemen, when it comes to this matchup, our 4-5, a much closer one, at least in my opinion, but I'd like to get your thoughts on, the initial keys to victory here, what might sway this game.
Don't tilt.
Don't tilt.
Don't tilt. That's good advice for Team Liquid. We'll see if they stick to it. I think the top lane will be something to look out for. I think both Darshan and Lorela have pretty similar champ pools, and the way their teams kind of play around them is pretty similar, and I think we'll see a pretty snowball-y top lane, something that the counter pick will be extremely important.
That's going to give us a very different champ select from today, will it not, Crumbs? Because today it felt like champion pools were wildly different.
Yeah, so the champion pools will be different, but one thing that I thought would be really impactful in this new patch was a Thresh pick in the bottom side, just because of how much it offers for the laning phase. It's a huge kill threat. It offers mobility, great roams. It's just such an all-around dominant pick in the hands of a proficient player. Afromoot and Matt
Some
Life,
say he's
somebody trying to mimic him as well, or like who looked up to this player and has a very similar champion pool, especially with the likes of something like the Bard, which can snowball really hard in the laning phase. I think there's going to be so much action around that whichever dual lane is really the best one should be able to come up with a nice advantage and kind of snowball the same way that we saw Cloud9 do it today.
Absolutely. Well, we'll have some time before the games tomorrow to talk more about the key determining factors in that matchup. That's going to do it for our first quarterfinal match, but stick around because in just 5 minutes, we'll be live on Facebook for a Q&A with Freak, Zig, and Dyrus. So check that out on facebook.com/LUL Esports. Now, on behalf of myself, the analysts and casters, along with the entire live broadcast crew, thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Welcome once again to the NALCS quarterfinals, League fans. We're about to be on the Rift. It's Cloud9 versus Envy.
All right, guys, remember, this is playoffs. You need to win this shit.
Oh, Cloud9. Oh, he's still going because of Meganar.
Impact has gone for the long con. Okay.
Mid lane now, and #Worth. Toe to toe. It's going to be Seraph that gets it. Cannot even. Zanya's.
This is really good. This is really fucking good. Fight, guys, fight.
Nobody on C9 dies, and they get 4 kills in a team fight.
I'm going.
Syndra. Ash. We can.
And game number 1 is going over to Envy for momentum.
Let's go.
Go Jin.
Nice.
Oh, he's knocking me out. Thunderlords comes down in the end to take down Lana. Double kill. Where did this Syndra come from for Jensen?
I can end. Yeah, we can end. It's good.
Oh, it's legit a penta. Fuck you guys.
They want to make this worse. The horse is down. They look to kick it. And Lana, the body slam into the dark passage. Godlike.
Flight.
Nice. I'm not turning. Die.
I'm looking.
Nice, good up. They're ace. Nice, good up.
Impact getting in the mess. And a triple kill for Jensen.
And that's an ace. And the kills keep going to Jensen.
Oh!
Take over a game.
The edge hitbox onto Ninja.
Go Jin. Karma? No flash. Nice.
Back onto Ninja. And a huge hit into the wall. The body slam
15.
into the Nar scoop. Cloud9 take it 3-1 over Envy and move on to face Immortals.
I do think we have a pretty good shot at taking down Immortals. They're obviously a strong team, but we definitely have what it takes to take them down.